Hey guys, that's your Rachel Legends. Welcome to the video. Sending some love, some positive vibes your way, especially if you're going through something and you need them out there today. From me to you guys, a quick video today, but a very important one, because looking back over the last couple years in Raid, I'm not big on the whole trope of like, you'll ruin your account with this mistake. I don't think you can really ruin your account with basically much of anything unless you're just trashing all of your champions, right? But there's one big, massive regret that I have, that I'm stopping empowering champions basically on my account, right? I empowered champions for years and years and years. Now, obviously, I've got a lot of +4s, +3s, plus whatever the heck's on my account. And you know, for a while, especially when they added champion empowerment a few years ago to the game, I was like, hey, why not, right? Like, there's no reason not to get better stats, even if I only use these champions in, you know, niche areas, like Doom Tower at the time or Faction Wars. Why not get better stats, right? There's no downside, really. Until, well, and you guys know what until, right? Until we have all of these champions that have other empowerment champions in the game. And I super regret a bunch of these champions. Check it out here, guys, by the way. It's right in your game. But from Ninja and Lydia and Thea and Gomlock and all the Doom Tower guys and Mithrala, you can see they all have, obviously, you guys know how it works. They all have an empowerment champion. But the thing is Ramantu has Shagor, and it just keeps going on and on and on. And as the game continues to get power crept, all of these old school champions, their best use cases ends up being to empower other champions, right? We have Tamisha, who's actually a really good champion, but she's actually really good at empowering Marius, right? And we can just keep going on and on. Shu Zen, which is obviously a really good champion in her own right, used to empower Leo. Draco with Donnie. Rio Bone Spear with Shredder. Rio, I think, is quite better than Shredder, but, you know, you can see Predator, Pythion, Cupidus, Ezio, Basim, Abyss, Bayak, Ursuga. Listen, I don't have Bayak or Edward, but man, I have empowered Heliers and empower Ursugas on my account, and Cupidus is on my account. Check this out, guys. Cry with me, please. I need your empathy. Give me some sympathy, baby. Shed a little tear for your guy. Anybody else do this, by the way? Not Theodore. Tamisha. T-E-U? There we go. I have a +3 MFN Tamisha on my account. Listen, I like Tamisha, but one is enough. I frankly don't need the extra stats on Tamisha. I wish so badly I could break those copies down and empower my Marius instead. Same thing with Pythion. Now, it's not as bad as my Tamisha, but I have a +1 Pythion, and golly, I would love to get that one Pythion back. I love Pythion. I think he's a great champion, but I don't need the empowerment there. Instead, I would love to empower my Predator. That's what I would really want to do here. So I would implore Plarium to consider this quality of life update. A lot of games have this, but it's going on right now inside of Theory Restart. There's not like an ad or anything like that, but it's just kind of like an example. Every once in a while, they'll do reconfigure events in this game. Now, they happen, you know, sporadically, not often. It's not a permanent thing. But for example, in March, we're going to have the Argonites faction, the true introduction to the game. We're going to have the big 8th year Plarium anniversary. Why not put an event like this in the game? All you do is select a champion, right? I'm just going to select whatever, pretend it's Pythion, right? And you get all your resources back, including empowerments, everything back from this champion. That would be so freaking cool to have once in a while in the game. Allow you to go back to champions. Hey, they announced, you know what, last year that they're never gonna buff, you know, epics again, right? Well, maybe you go back and you take an underwhelming epic that you empowered and you get all the resources back, right? And you use it on a champion. Maybe you've upgraded your account since then, right? So for me, this is my new philosophy on empowerment. I am only empowering a champion on my account if I use them in PvP. If I use them in a big way in PvP. That is the only exception, because frankly, if you're an endgame player, in most, but not all situations, I'll talk about the exception in a moment, in most situations, empowerment, the min-maxing, basically, of your champion matters most in the arena, where all those stats count. Every point of accuracy can be crucial, right? Now, there may be some exceptions, some cutting-edge content that is based on high scores, such as Chimera. You know, maybe you have I don't know, like your damage dealer they're in Chimera or something like that, is empowered. I wouldn't say that it is a must-have in most situations, but I can understand. But other than that, I'm not empowering anybody. I'm just going to keep all my copies. I started doing this a couple months ago, and I thought to myself, you know, I'm just going to make a video about this. Look at all these legendaries that I could empower, but instead I'm just sticking them in my reserve vault because you never know when they're going to introduce another busted champion that is using Tamisha, for example, that I would really love those copies back. So 2 points. Number one, I think it would behoove you guys, even if you're just like a fairly new player, just save them. Just save them. Epics I still empower. But legendaries, just save them. Don't empower them because honestly, I don't know. Unless you're using them again in the arena, I regret because of all those empowerment combos, you know? How do you guys feel about that? What is your strategy and philosophy around champion empowerment? Honestly, that's the biggest mistake that I've made on my entire account ever, is empowering every legendary for the first year or two that empowerment was in the game. All right, guys, like I said, a very uncharacteristic, quick video for yours truly. Let me know, again, your strategy, your philosophy on empowerment, and let me know if you think this would be a good idea. Plarium, if you're watching, it'd be so cool. I can't see anybody being against it. You don't have to do it, right? It'd be so cool to have these special events inside Raid Shadow Legends. We know we're going to get returned fusions. We know we're going to get special shard opening events this year that only target champions that we don't have. I think those are two really cool quality of life or special events. Let's add a get your resources back from a champion, even if you can only use, for example, this event, you only get 3 of them, right? You can only do 3. But that would be better than nothing, and I think a lot of players would really love that. I think it would actually probably bring a lot of churned in old users back to Raid Shadow Legends. There it is, guys. Thanks for watching. Much love, and as always, take care, guys.